So somewhat obviously, this is a Bamboo Lab X1 carbon, and Bamboo sent it to me along with the note, we don't mind if you never use it, we just think that you will, and if you do, would you mind doing some videos? And I built that tape winding machine using this, and it's fast. It's fast as they say it would be. Of course it is an awesome machine. The build quality is top notch, the speed is what they say, and the ease of use is what they say. But there are two drawbacks with it, really. The first one has got to be the price. I mean, this machine's about £1,000 or so. If you add this on, which is the AMS system for multicolour and changing, you're talking about £1,300–1,400. That's a lot of money. The other one is it uses a concept of walled garden in the same way that Apple does. You can only use Bamboo products, Bamboo services to run the machine. I mean, that does ensure ease of use, and there are certainly hacks out there. If you have a look on YouTube, you find lots of workarounds on it, but to ensure that ease of use, they adopted walled garden, and a lot of people don't like that. Those two factors have really opened up a hole in the market. One of the key technological advantages of this, and one that was perhaps leading the market, is the Core XY design. Now, I've done a video, and I'll put a link at the end of this video, what Core XY actually is, but that has enabled these increasing speeds for these kind of machines. And of course, given the gap in the market at that price and walled garden point, what you're finding is that others are coming in competition with the Bamboo at those points, and I'm thinking here of things like FlashForge and in particular Elegoo. In the trade shows late June, early July, Elegoo announced this. It's the Centauri Carbon. Now, it's their Core XY machine, and it's the first stab at this, and it's meant to be a direct competitor with Bamboo. Now, if you think that Bamboo P1S is retailing somewhere around about £700–750, you can expect that Elegoo are going to be pricing that below the P1S to hit that market. Now, to do that, of course, they're going to have to make different decisions on how they actually build the thing. Bamboo have opted for an all-welded design, and what Elegoo are doing are going for a die-cast machine that bolts together to give it rigidity and stability. Of course, what Elegoo are looking for is the same functionality and the same principle of ease of use. So, out-of-the-box experience, just pick it out, load your filament, you're good to go, and you're going to get the same speeds, or at least that's what they're aiming for. One of the key things to a successful print is actually how good that first layer is. If you can get the thing down nice and even when it sticks to the plate, chances are the rest of the print is going to go fine. And there are two things that really affect that first layer. One is the evenness of the build plate, it is always off a little bit, and the other is cooling that plastic when it comes out. Now, Bamboo use micro LiDAR to map the surface, and they use an active compensation for vibration and extrusion control. What Elegoo have opted to do is automatic Z-axis control to achieve that same effect, and of course they both have a whole bunch of cooling fans to both keep the chamber at the right temperature and keep the plastic at the hot end at the right temperature. Now, when you're looking at performance of the machine, then you're really looking at things like the flow rate, the nozzle, what's it made of, the nozzle heater, the bed heater, and the size of the stepper motor. Those are going to be the things that affect the performance the most. Now, Elegoo reckon that their flow rate is 40mm per second, whereas Bamboo is 32mm per second, and they provided it with a nozzle heater of 60 watts as opposed to Bamboo's 40 watts, and they reckon the bed, which is a kilowatt, is going to heat up quicker than the Bamboo bed. I mean, these are all things that we can check out if we get a review machine, but the nozzle is made out of zirconium, copper and hardened steel, so should perform reasonably well. But again, these are things that need checking out when the machine is in hand, but that at least is what they're saying. In terms of ease of use, well, they both come supplied with a camera so you can check on the progress or actually detect things like spaghetti failures, that sort of stuff. But it's going to be interesting to see how accessible the Elegoo camera is outside of the Elegoo software. Of course, auto leveling is one of those crucial things that you need to get right, and what Elegoo have done is prompted for 4 pressure sensors as opposed to what Bamboo are doing, which is the LiDAR sensor and 1 analog sensor for cross-checking. When it comes to dealing with the filament, then they've both got pretty much the same filament cutting. They've got a little silicone brush to clean the nozzle head, they've got a waste chute. And what that's done has prompted speculation that Elegoo are looking to bring in some kind of AMS system that Bamboo have got that enables that multiple roll where you can change material or change colour as you print along. But that's not actually available yet, with the Bamboo AMS being the key thing that's different, I think, between the Bamboo and the Elegoo. Now, plates are a surprisingly important thing because it's difficult to get that right. They have to have enough adhesion so that the print doesn't fail, and yet not too much, so that it's actually difficult to pick the model off the plate. And I have found it on occasion challenging to get the model off the plate when I've done a Bamboo print. It's pretty sticky and you have to go at it a little bit to get it off. Bending it doesn't seem to do the job completely, and it does take a little bit of effort to get the model off the plate, which I've put up with because, you know, it means that the model's not going to shift. It's going to be interesting to see what Elegoo plates are like set against Bamboo plates. That balance between keeping it stuck down so you can print, but not too stuck down so you can get the print off later. And from what I can tell at the moment, pretty much any filament roll will go into the Elegoo, and the filament holder's on the right hand side instead of the back. And you can put any filament in Bamboo, but you do need to hack it around a little bit, whereas the Elegoo seems to just accept any filament that you want to put in there, breaking that walled garden approach. When you read the spec sheet, it's actually astonishing how similar they are. They both have aluminium and glass bodies. The hot end temperature is 300 degrees centigrade. The bed plate temperature is 110 degrees centigrade. Their acceleration is 20 meters per second with a print speed of 500 millimeters per second. The nozzles are hardened steel. The gear extruders are hardened steel. There's just this long list of ways in which they're similar. They print pretty much the same materials. And they have an identical build volume of 256 by 256 by 256. They both come with a camera, they both have automatic recovery for power loss, they operate at max power of 1 kilowatt, and here's where some of the differences start to creep in. It's the slicer. Elegoo use an Orca slicer, and they say that other slicers can be used with it. Of course, you're recommended to only use Bamboo Studio with Bamboo and no other slicer, although again I have heard of hacks being out there to use other slicers with it. The connectivity is also different. On the Elegoo you've got USB and Wi-Fi. On the Bamboo you've got Wi-Fi and something called Bamboo Bus, which goes through Bamboo Studio, and of course the micro SD card. The screens differ as well. It's 4.3 inches on the Elegoo and 5 inches on the Bamboo, and of course the onboard memory differs. It's 8 gigabytes on the Elegoo and 4 gigabytes on the Bamboo. So it's pretty obvious that Elegoo is aiming its product right at the heart of the Bamboo market, and that's no surprise. That's the way our markets work. It's one of the ways that we achieve forward movement, by having competition in the marketplace. And so it was bound to happen, and you've now got people like Elegoo and Flashforge snapping at the heels of Bamboo, and that was always on the cards. The big question really is, are the differences going to make a difference? Is Elegoo's choice of a die-cast frame going to be significant against Bamboo's choice of a welded frame? It seems to me that the lead that Bamboo have got at the moment was being first there to use Core XY and their developed AMS system, but you can bet your bottom dollar other people are going to be wanting to develop AMS so they can compete directly. And of course, the competition then is going to be in terms of price. And Elegoo's methodology of die-cast frame could well be the winner because it's going to ease cost in manufacture, as long as you don't compromise the quality of the end product, of course. Now, the thing to do really is to get my hands on a review machine and test out whether the things on paper match up with the things in reality, and I'm going to try and do that, and of course do a video comparison of it so we can see how good that product is. But it's a direct competitor to Bamboo, and it's certainly very exciting, and at least on paper looks extraordinarily promising, and I'd be expecting somewhere in the region of $600 or so for the asking price, perhaps even lower than that. Anyway, I'll keep you in touch with what's going on. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you very much for watching, and please do remember to like and subscribe.